So Nigel, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
You're the co-founder of FanDuel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
And today you're here as the co-founder and CEO of BetHog.
Yep.
Right. So can you tell us what prompted you into building a crypto casino business, and do you feel this is the future of the industry?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So I've been in crypto for about 5 years, heavily involved. I've been interested in crypto for maybe 10. I think crypto has delivered a lot of promise that we're now seeing really being fulfilled. One of the biggest challenges I always found as an operator back at FanDuel was payments. Being reliant on Visa, Mastercard, being always worried that operator might, or that provider might just disappear. And what we see with crypto is that just vanishes. That's exceptional. The second thing I think is just fascinating with crypto is today we're seeing something like $4 trillion in liquid assets sitting on chain. And those people who own that tend to be very well aligned with sort of the online betting, in that they're younger, they skew meal, they're risk seeking, and so I think it's incredible. Even with this $4 trillion in assets that are just sitting there, they want something to do with it, and so yes, I think that's really exciting. I think the third thing, when we look at the landscape, is we actually think crypto casino is one of the areas we've seen the most innovation in online betting,
right.
Whether it's crash games, whether it's just allowing people to bet in the currency of their choice. And so that's where we think is the most interesting part of the industry right now, and that's why we're there.
Right. I mean, on the point, we've seen it with companies like Stake, flourishing with crypto, but not just crypto, this new generation.
Yeah.
And having their own games, their own set of games. And what you're saying about the Visa and Mastercard is very interesting in the context of the hearings that are happening right now in the parliament in the United States with Visa and Mastercard being challenged by US authorities because they basically have a monopoly and they are obviously abusing it. Mm-hmm. Crypto, and to be honest, I'm not an early believer in crypto, can be the solution. So it's a very, very interesting point.
Yeah, like as an operator, I think the users often don't see it because they're like, I deposit my money on my credit card and it turns up immediately. What they don't see is an operator, I don't see that for maybe a month. And when I do see it, I'm getting charged extensively for the transfer of that money.
Yeah.
As an onshore operator, I might be paying up to 20% of my revenue just in payments. Offshore, even worse.
Yeah.
So it's a massive unlock crypto I provide.
Yeah. How have you gone about building something different? Is it a challenge to build excitement when you're doing something which is totally unique in the market? I mean, you want to be a leader, you want to be, but you don't want to be the first one. It's always a very, very difficult position to be the first one.
Yeah, there's a saying that pioneers get arrows in their back.
Say again?
Pioneers get arrows in their back.
Exactly.
And I've experienced that. Being the very, very first is hard because you investors are like, well, we've never seen anything like this before. Investors hate investing in new things. They want to be invest in the thing that's already proven.
Exactly.
But at that point, it's often too late. And so, for me, I don't think we're early. I think we're early in crypto, but we're not the pioneer. I think companies like you mentioned, like Stake, who've been in it since 2017, have made enormous strides in this market. But while I don't think we're maybe, we're certainly not the first, it's still very early. This is a market that's seeing exceptionally fast growth. This is a market where I think when I look at the market today, I see maybe something like 500 crypto casinos. I've sort of tried to count them, and you lose count at probably 100. But when I look at them, with a small number of exceptions, Stake being one of them, you all see the same product. It's the same product. It's the same product from third-party vendors. The experience of the user coming in and playing it is essentially the same across all of them. And oftentimes that experience is not very good.
Right.
And to me, that says to me, this is a huge opportunity because we know as a team, we can make that experience better. We can make it unique. And that's what we're really focused on is like, sure, you may be coming on, you may go straight to Pragmatic and play Sugar Rush, or you may go straight to an Evolution and play Baccarat. But we can make doing that more fun in BetHog than doing it anywhere else.
Right.
And that's what we're focusing on is how do we differentiate, how do we make that experience better?
So talking about the differentiation and having your own set of games, I'm intrigued by the fact that you're developing your own games. Do you feel a smaller number of quality proprietary titles can outperform wider selection of third-party games? You have already answered that question, but can you dwell a little bit deeper into that?
I understand.
Please?
No, it's a really good question. What I view is, I think you need to have both. We see it with users, like you do want to have, and we have 6 original titles, which we've invested a lot of time and money in building to make their super high quality. But we have plenty of VIPs who come in and they go and find a game in our roster that I don't even know exists. And that's what they play. And so, not having it would be a major detriment to that player. Like they would come in and say, where's this game? And I would be like, I don't even know this game exists. So we aim to have both. The way we think about differentiation is really threefold. One area we think about is having unique titles. Those are the things that we build, and we make sure they're super high quality. Number 2 we think about is what is the meta game? Meta game being not Sugar Rush, not Baccarat, not Blackjack. What is the game around that? If I'm playing Sugar Rush on BetHog, what's sort of my progression? What's the sort of the experience of coming in around that we as BetHog are delivering? And then the third thing we think a lot about is just the kind of, how do I smooth out the experience? Like maybe I was on bitcoin.com and I saw a promo code and I came in, is that experience really smooth? Am I like, or is it really confusing? And surprisingly, and I just stuns me in this industry, is for most operators, that experience is very confusing. Like I come in, I saw a promo code, I got to a page, but the promo code disappeared, and I don't know if I'm getting it, so now I'm emailing customer service. That experience is terrible for users, and that's something that we're really focused on. And I would say I register my own product certainly every week, sometimes several times a week, just to see, is that experience really good? That first-time user experience of coming in, depositing money and playing, is that really smooth? And we regularly put out that in new players. And stunningly, when I test competitor products, I'm always like, why is this so difficult? This should be the easiest experience in the world, and you're making it really hard. And we're not there, but we think there's a lot of improvement can be in there.
Yeah, we often talk about innovation, but the devil is in the details.
Yeah,
And this user experience is very important. We've run a B2C operation on our own platform, and I was doing the same like you. I was going there. They were always calling me and they were saying, if it works on Alex's computer, it's going to work everywhere. And I was breaking the website. I was doing things that nobody will do, but then you have the user having a problem, and then you tell it to the software developer, to your and they say, yeah, but it works on my computer. But it doesn't work on their computer.
You absolutely have to, and it's incredible when you spend time with users. You see the massive range of scenarios and devices that they're using, and you're like, oh my God, you sitting at home with good Wi-Fi on a PC or Mac, you're like, as optimal environment. Well, go and get a crappy iPhone in an environment with per data and try your product there and see what happens.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the more of the user experience.
And especially now with mobile being like 80% of the users and having so many different mobile versions, OSs and sizes of phones, and now it's flipping phones, etc. It's very, very relevant.
Where you see the product and you're like, look, it looks great. I just can't see the bet button. But I've seen that so many times on our product as well. We're like, it looks great, but we can't see the bet button.
Right. So we were talking about being a first mover. I mean, from my own experience, we've created in 2015 the first virtual reality casino. I thought it was going to be something in 2017. We're in 2025, 10 years after.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
And even when it's going to happen, we're going to have to wait 5 more years for the stores to accept the gambling industry
Right,
side.
yes,
So let's
yeah.
say if 2025 becomes the year of VR,
Yeah.
virtual reality, 2030 should be the year when we will be able to have gambling apps inside VR stores, which is 15 years after we started creating VR and investing 1.5 million there. So that's why I told you before, you don't want to be the first mover.
Yes.
And my question to you, as you are one of them, when I look at your career, you do look like a first mover. Does it ever get lonely? How do you feel being in that place?
Yeah, so I think there's a danger. I'll give you an example of something that we did. We launched a prediction market back in 2007. It's called HubDub. And it's funny, for 15 years I've always had to explain to people what a prediction market is, and then Polymarket came up with launched theirs 2 years ago and had massive success, way more success than we did. I do think that sometimes with new innovations, you can innovate too much. VR might be one of them. Like, the hardware just wasn't there. The consumer acceptance just wasn't there. And, sometimes you have the right idea, but you're just looking too far ahead.
Completely.
And I think we saw that, at mobile, it's fascinating because the transformation from mobile we saw from 2009 onwards was incredible. But if you've been in the tech industry, like I have since 2000, every year from 2000 to
It was the year of mobile.
Was the year of mobile.
I remember. And I remember that.
Yeah,
the
and
same
we were
as you.
building.
Every year was the year of mobile for me since 2004.
Yeah.
And it happened, I remember which year exactly, with Leo Vegas,
Yeah.
2012.
Right. And for 10 years, we were building mobile apps and like Java platforms that no one used, which were pretty much unusable. But we were all like, this is the year, this is the year. So, and in fact, a lot of, a lot of like funds that were early on mobile, but they were too early. And they invested in a whole bunch of companies, and those companies all failed. And by the time mobile came around, they were late. So they're definitely being a too early. And so it's really choosing yes, this is a thing and we're right, and this is the time. So timing is like absolutely crucial.
Completely.
Yeah.
So Nigel, this is the second day of ICE at Barcelona.
Yeah.
First year they're coming here. I'm personally very happy.
Yeah.
It's our hometown. That's where we have our offices. Is there anything you've seen yet that you think could become a trend, or any new product, something that have attracted your attention?
So one of the things that I think is fascinating, because I straddle crypto and betting, online casino, online sports betting. One of the things that's more what I haven't really seen is those two industries almost, even when you're a crypto casino, they just seem totally separate. But we are seeing developments in crypto, like meme coins being a great example. To me, meme coins is probably one of the best betting products ever invented. It's an exceptionally exciting, high volatility, informational news content every minute. Really, really exciting. But I don't think there's anyone or any stand here that's covering it. And so that's kind of the interesting thing to me here, is that these are two industries that are so very similar, but actually don't interface with each other.
Right.
And so that's something I think we're going to see a trend in, which is, crypto people, they are like, whoa, that's speculation. A lot of them are kind of, but to me, as somebody from the sort of the online betting industry, I'm like, that speculation, that's great. People love this. So it's a very weird one, which is it's a branch of crypto, which isn't really liked within crypto, but it really should fit here because this is an industry we all know and love. So that's one thing I think is really interesting. I haven't seen much of it here, but I think we're going to see it here because it is, I think, particularly meme coins, one of the most exciting gambling products invented in the last 30 years.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.